So does Boots have that kind of power? I think so, yes. Does Boots have boxing skills? I know that for a fact. So I think it's going to be just a great fight, and I can't wait to see.
Jab, 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 jab. Floyd Mayweather Sr. used to tell me, throw 40 jabs around. Nobody beats you. After your jabs, combinations, nobody beats you.
And had the balls to do it. So you have to respect Zayas. And the fact that he's willing to do it is a serious threat. Because he's not an idiot. Top rank aren't idiots.
With both fighters quickly rising to the top of the sport, a showdown between Xander Zayas and Jaron "Boots" Ennis is a fight many fans want to see, and boxing pros are divided on who would emerge victorious. With that in mind, Zayas emphasizes that at just 23 years of age, he is eager to prove himself by taking on the best, firmly rejecting the idea of slow playing his career.
When you want to be great and you choose to be great and you decide that this is what you want to do, I feel like fighting the best is the only way to show it. It's easy to go out in social media and say, I'm the best, and have nobody in your resume and not have proven yourself. So I feel like I say I'm the best. I prove myself every time in. I haven't said no to any opponents they always bring to the table. I always come ready. I always come prepared. And I always show why this 23-year-old is a unified world champion. Simple as that.
He maintains that he thrives in the underdog role and remains completely unfazed by criticism, insisting that external doubts only serve to strengthen his motivation and focus going forward.
No, it's the same situation as every time in.
Every
time in, I'm the young guy. I'm the guy that they're gonna drown in deep waters. I'm the guy that, hasn't had the experience. I've lived through this my whole life. Everybody always overlooked me till I go out there and I show out what I do in the biggest night. So nothing different to me. Same night, same ring, 4 same corners. Gonna go out there and do what I do best.
Legendary champion Roy Jones Jr. acknowledges he is a talented champion but feels that Boots Ennis holds the advantage in terms of experience and intangibles.
Intangible wise, I don't know that he can do everything Boots can do because Boots does have a lot of intangibles that Boots can do. I've seen him do a few more because he's been around a bit longer than Xander. But Xander's got to know how to make a adjustment. So that being said, we'll have to see what happens. I don't know who will win the fight. The intangibles do lean toward Boots to me, but Xander's a hell of a fighter, a hell of a champion, and I've seen him in action up close when I had Slava fight him, and he gave Slava a pretty good, he made a good adjustment on Slava.
Taking everything into consideration, Paulie Malignaggi calls it a win that would elevate Zayas to mega star status. He notes that Ennis is one of the best fighters in the sport today and arguably needed this fight more.
I didn't see the press conference, but I am surprised they put in Xander that early. Listen, Xander will fight anybody. He's that kind of fighter. Super marketable fighter, so that's why I was surprised that they're taking this chance with him a little early. If he wins, he's a mega star. Ennis is one of the best fighters in the sport today. This is a fight I think both of them need, but I think Ennis needed it more because Ennis is a little older. With Zayas, you had time to wait on this kind of risk.
Regarding this potential fight, Oscar De La Hoya expects a highly competitive and exciting matchup, pointing out that both fighters bring elite skill sets, making it the kind of clash that could go either way and deliver a true test at the top level of boxing.
Yeah, I think it's stylistically, it's a great matchup. I think Boots is very, very talented. He's in his prime, obviously. He's facing a guy who knows how to use his distance and throws hard punches, combinations. He has the will to win. I mean, this is going to be a great fight. I don't know who's going to win. It's tough to call, but you might have to give the edge to Boots just because he's on a roll, with his past opponents, the way he's been handling them. Stylistically, I think I would have to give a little edge, but I do love Xander.
While there's no doubting Xander's confidence, Terrence Crawford has seen enough of the sport to know when a moment is bigger than the man. Now, as the fight approaches, he warns that the matchup may be coming a little too early in Xander's career. The belief is there, the drive is there, but timing in this sport can be everything. For Xander, this isn't just a fight, it's a chance to make history for his country.
Man, that's a tough fight, especially for Xander at this point in his career, but it shows his heart and his confidence, that he have in himself, and he's ready to go make history for his country, and he's gonna do real well in that fight. I just think, right now, it's a little bit too early for him.
even with the questions surrounding his experience, Tim Bradley is split right down the middle on whether it's too soon for Xander Zayas. He believes that Zayas has never been a typical fighter for his age, carrying himself with a professionalism far beyond his years ever since. Nothing seems to rattle him, and that kind of composure is rare at any level. The bigger the moment becomes, the more comfortable Xander Zayas appears, which could prove to be one of his greatest strengths.
Look, I mean, yeah, I'm 50-50 on that. Look, Xander Zayas has never been a normal, how can I say this? He's always been mature for his age. He's already done this before. You know, he signed, was top ranked, and the dude was like a junior in high school.
Right.
You know, he was young as hell. But the way he handles himself outside the ring, he's always handled himself as a professional, and it's like he's been here before.
He suggests that Boots is entering a fight where he must truly prove himself and live up to the growing hype and expectation surrounding his name. He points out that despite all the attention and reputation, he believes that Boots is in a position where he absolutely has to show up and show out. The clout has outpaced the resume. For Boots, it's the moment. The hype either gets validated or exposed.
Like Boots is put in a situation in this fight to where he has to show the hell up and show the hell out, because there's been so much hype and so much clout around him, and he hasn't gotten the opportunity to really showcase. I mean, the biggest opportunity that he got was when he fought against Ennis, and he passed that with flying colors. And so it's like, I don't think we've seen the best Boots yet, right?
Moreover, Robert Garcia leans toward giving the edge to Jaron "Boots" Ennis because of his elite-level talent, exceptional hand speed, and impressive punching power. He still makes it clear that this is not a one-sided matchup. In fact, he emphasizes that the fight is much closer than many people might assume at first glance, suggesting that both fighters bring high-level skills that could make the contest highly competitive and unpredictable once they step into the ring.
My pick, I would probably say, goes to Boots, because talent-wise, but Xander's positive about himself, man. He sounds very confident. I talked to him and he's very confident, very positive. So definitely gave him a shot, man. Boots has never been in that division for long. Only one fight in one round, so it could make a big difference. Xander's a big boy, man. Xander's a big boy that might be looking to moving up to 160, in the near future. So it's gonna be an interesting fight.
He notes that Zayas is a big boy who could eventually move up to 160 pounds in the future, suggesting that his natural size could become an important factor as his career progresses. He believes that this physical frame may allow him to carry strength and durability into the later rounds. However, he also implies that at this stage, the added size advantage is not fully maximized against elite opposition. Over time, he expects that moving up in weight could enhance his overall physical presence and performance inside the ring.
I think Boots, as talented as he is, I think he still hasn't really tested the 154, because one round didn't do much for him. He didn't really test, so he might be very talented, but in the late rounds against a solid 154-pounder that might be getting closer to moving to 160, because Xander Zayas is big. So that could be a little bit of a difference there, if we compare both fights.
In addition, Eddie Hearn praises Ennis for his focus on greatness and his clear ambition to unify divisions and become an undefeated champion at the highest level. He highlights that Ennis is not driven primarily by financial demands, but instead by legacy and championship opportunities. According to him, this mindset makes negotiations significantly easier as the fighter prioritizes the biggest challenges and the major belts. Overall, he sees Ennis as a rare competitor whose main goal is to cement greatness rather than maximize short-term earnings.
Boots is the easiest guy to deal with in that respect. He doesn't overprice himself, he doesn't act unreasonably. By the way, he gets top money, but it's never about the money. Like, of all the guys I negotiate with at that level, he's the one that goes, I leave it to you, get me what's right, but I need greatness. Get me the belts, I want to unify, I want to become undisputed. We need to make Fundora against Josh Kelly. You know, I'm speaking to Louis DeCubas and PBC. There's such a straightforward route here at Undisputed. And I know there's a lot of politics at the moment about belts. Trust me when I say, speak to fighters every day. Belts matter.
He describes the matchup not as a mismatch, but as a genuinely competitive fight where Ennis will have the opportunity to fully showcase his elite level skills, timing, and adaptability inside the ring. He emphasizes that the opponent brings enough quality to make it meaningful, but still believes Ennis has the tools to take over and shine on the big stage.
You know, and by the way, like, this is not a mismatch. Many see this as a 50-50 fight. I don't, but I still see it as a very competitive fight. It's not going to be easy, but I think it's the kind of fight that Boots will show how good. I think these are the kind of fights where you can show how good you are.
In the broader situation of the conversation, Bernie the Boxer goes toward the official framing of the fight, highlighting June 27th as a significant moment as the Boots era is being pushed into focus. He says the matchup between Jaron Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas is presented as a unified championship-level clash taking place in New York, adding major East Coast significance and crowd energy to the event. Both fighters are described as being built on separate platforms, but now arriving at the same level, making it a natural collision point in their careers.
I mean, yeah, okay. So he fighting June 27th against the other fella in New York. He fighting Xander Zayas in New York.
Unified champion.
Good East Coast fight because they right up around the corner from New York, basically down the street, however you want to slice it. You got Jersey in there. It's an East Coast affair. You got the Puerto Ricans coming out. You got the Hispanics, you know. Good thing. And you can't do nothing but take your head off to either one of them. Boots will want to be a champion and fighting a guy. Like I'm saying, they both been building each other. They both been built on separate platforms to get to this level. And
setting aside any personal allegiances, Bernie the Boxer refuses to take anything away from either man heading into this fight. Now, as the matchup approaches, he insists that while Boots brings the flashier combinations and the more visually appealing style, both fighters have been groomed well and carry strong pedigree into the ring. The real question isn't who looks better, it's who emerges when it matters most.
But smart boxing can't take it away from his movement. Boxing, can't take it away from him in that situation. And, you know, definitely Boots got the flashier combinations, the flashier style, the more appealing style to your eyes. But they both been groomed well. They both good pedigree. I just want to see a great fight. I don't favor any one of them. I've been saying Boots, but I really don't favor anyone. I would just like to see them guys go on and who emerges as the number one guy.
Beyond just styles, the timing of where each fighter is in their career matters too. Sean Zittel has followed Zayas closely enough to understand what makes him tick. He argues that while Boots holds the prime advantage, there are holes in his game that could open a real path to victory for Zayas. Zayas has always pointed to his ring IQ as his greatest weapon. For Zayas, it's a chance to prove that intelligence inside the ring can be just as devastating as any combination thrown at him.
That being said, I think there's some holes there that you can find for Zayas to have a path to victory. Zayas is a fighter that's always told me that he prides himself on his IQ. He feels that's his best attribute. And a lot of fighters will do that. And I've had a theory for years that it's because they like to downplay their physical gifts. To them, to highlight one of their physical attributes is to take away from the hard work and the mind that it takes to be a championship level fighter. So I think a lot of them try to steer you away from that.
From his standpoint, he breaks down Boots as a splash player who mixes brilliance with moments of defensive vulnerability. He explains that Boots sometimes gets caught admiring his work or staying too relaxed after landing big shots. In contrast, he highlights Zayas as a disciplined, technically sound boxer who rarely strays from structure. This contrast creates a stylistic clash where discipline is pitted against explosive but occasionally reckless talent, shaping the core narrative of the matchup.
Over your stake at times. And Ennis is also at times a splash player, like they say in football, on defense. Meaning sometimes you get a cornerback who will get a pick six and take it to the house. But then on the next play, he'll get burnt for a touchdown. and they're really good at making splash plays. Sometimes that's Ennis on defense. He'll have a sequence where, oh my God, did you see the fluidity of the head movement and the reflexes? And then the next sequence, he's getting caught with shots maybe he shouldn't get caught with.
When all the analysis is set aside, sometimes it comes down to pure loyalty. Torres Jr. has been in Xander's corner since the amateur days and isn't about to change that now. As the contract is signed and the fight becomes real, he insists that Xander is his guy through and through. No amount of talent on the other side will pull him away from that. It's a collision of two fighters that even the most loyal fans can't help but be thrilled about.
And you know, it's two insanely talented fighters. I myself am a Xander fan. I'm through and through since day one. I've known him since the amateurs. I'm gonna rock with Xander. He's my guy. I won't ever go against him, man. So Xander's my guy, and I'm gonna keep with him. But Boots is such a talented fighter. I'm a fan of his as well, and I'm excited for that. I just saw he posted today that he signed the contract. So let's see how it goes, man.
Greg Hackett believes the physical matchup alone is enough to guarantee something special. He is convinced that Zayas will push himself harder than ever before, knowing exactly what this moment could unlock for his career. With both fighters undefeated, someone's record has to go, and whoever comes out on top is looking at a fast track to superstardom.
You know what I mean? Strong guy. And I think that right there enough is going to make it a great fight. You know what I mean? Just because he's going to train, Zayas is going to train like he's never trained before because he knows this is a big fight. This could catapult him in a different way, man, you know?
Definitely. Whoever wins this fight, they're both undefeated. Somebody's to go. Whoever wins this fight is going to be a star name and probably going into a fight with Sebastian Fundora, right?
Absolutely. That's how I feel. So it's a lot riding on this, you know what I mean? And I'm just happy that it's in New York. I'm happy it's close.
He sees this as a genuine test for Boots rather than a comfortable showcase. He argues that Boots will bring everything, but is walking into a challenge that shouldn't be underestimated. The opponent's durability, youth, and energy make him a live threat that could expose anyone who comes in unprepared. For Boots, it's a measuring stick that will show exactly how ready he is for the next level.
Skillful, and he not afraid. Boots, we know he trying to bring everything to the table, the speed, the power, you know, just the lights. He bringing everything to it. I think it's a great test for Boots because this is a guy who you could say is durable. You can say he's durable because he's never been stopped. I never even seen him go down. You know what I mean? So it's not like we talking about a chump. You know what I mean? He coming to fight. And I think this kid being young will make him dangerous. Him being young, energetic, and then a big guy. He got real good size to him.
Whether you're backing Boots Ennis for his explosive talent and championship experience or Xander Zayas for his confidence, discipline, and fearless rise through the ranks, one thing is clear: this is the kind of fight boxing fans live for. When this super fight happens, it won't just answer who's better right now, it could define who becomes the face of boxing moving forward. Drop your prediction in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more boxing breakdowns, fight analysis, and updates on the biggest matchups in the sport.